sports as a 40-year-old man, 41. Sports are basically done. It's sports are never going to be the same. Gambling has took over, and now, did gambling somewhat control sports 10, 12, 15 years ago, 20 years ago? Somewhat. But it's now gotten to the point where gambling and sports are one. There's no separation, you guys. I can't believe how much gambling I see on the television or your phone, wherever you stream your sports nowadays. It's just gambling. It's all about gambling. Why did we let this happen? I guess for younger people, they might not really understand why gambling in sports are a horrible, things to combine. It's asinine. And maybe they just thought, well, hey, everyone basically knows we rig all these big sporting events anyways. We might as well make the money off gambling because they're going to think that we rig this shit anyways. So we might as well make the big money because that's what comes with this, you guys. You realize this is fraud and you can't trust that any of these sports are on the up and up. And this weekend, I'll tell you a little story about what kind of brought me back. I used to be a really big basketball fan. I used to be as big of a basketball fan as I was a football fan. In fact, I loved playing basketball more than I actually loved playing football as a kid. Big basketball fan. As a kid, I rooted for an underdog team, the Utah Jazz, John Stockton and Karl Malone, and we lost to the chosen one back then, Jordan. And through sort of the Kobe years and stuff, I watched a little bit, and I liked when the Celtics got Garnett and Ray Allen in that team. And then sort of the LeBron era, I just couldn't really take what NBA basketball turned into, the LeBron and Steph Curry era, and the three-point shot basically watering down a sport that I knew and turned it into just something totally different now, where it's just, let me jack up as many threes as I can. There's no real defense. There's no, real big centers anymore because nobody drives the lane and you don't need a defensive guy down low. And just the game totally changed on me. And, I started playing a little bit on DraftKings, really small betting, just to play around. And it kind of got me back into watching basketball a little bit. And last year, I really enjoyed watching Jokic, sort of the anti-establishment type of guy. And watching this year, something that really opened my eyes to what's going on is you take the OKC series, okay, and how that series ended.
They're going to review it to see whether it's a 2 or a 3.
No, Mark is asking for a challenge, I believe, or a timeout.
Boy, it looked like he got ball first, right? Mark Daignault is...
Where the player, Shy, blocks this Mavericks player. Basically, last play of the game, Luka almost dribbles the ball out of bounds. Luckily, he gets it to a guy in the corner, and one of the best defenders in the league, this guy like second in MVP voting, blocks this guy. Blocks the shot. And I don't know if you ever played basketball, when you hit the ball, you can touch the body a little bit when you're going for the ball, right? And he blocks the shot, and the guy kind of double clutches, and he just brushes. You've all probably seen the play if you're basketball fans. He brushes his arms, and they call a foul. They call a foul, which basically ended a whole series on a foul call. So the refs literally decided a whole series. Now, just that play alone is sick. It's just disgusting to happen. I couldn't imagine being an OKC fan and losing on a just chintzy, soft, horrible foul call. And it just makes you think, it just makes me think with gambling and the way these things are that whoever makes these decisions wanted the Mavericks to move on. I mean, that's the only way I can look at it. There's no, I don't believe in all this, like, you have a replay system. It's not human error anymore. You made the decision to keep that foul and knock one team out of the playoffs. So you chose who you wanted to move on. That's the bottom line. So then the very next game, the next day, the Knicks and Pacers have a game 7. First quarter. I think it's DiCenzo drives to the hoop. Halliburton, who can't play a lick of defense at all, guy's soft as hell, hacks at him.
By Halliburton, and then the contact. So that's an illegal play defensively. And then these two got after it and got called for a double technical. So no foul.
I mean, it's literally a reach-in. You don't tell me he's going for the ball. That's not how you steal the ball. The guy gets a foot ahead of him and he just reaches in and he fouls him. They call the foul. Halliburton, like a little weirdo, runs around the court calling for the replay.
DiVincenzo drives, stripped but fouled. Halliburton right away does that sign, wants him to challenge it. But Carlisle will look behind his bench. It's become one of the most important jobs on the team. The coach in charge of replay, and he's going to call timeout. DiVincenzo going to call timeout.
They call the replay. Do you know what the ref said? 8 hours later, after they ended a series on this same call, they come back and they say, because he went for the ball first, it's not a foul.